Hello, everybody. Good morning. Well, I had a quick thought, and I ran it by my wife, and she seemed to think it was okay. So I'm going to pitch it to you guys, and it has to do with personal responsibility, I think, and owning up to our mistakes, but also, I think, an incorrect view on the world around us and sin, kind of. And that is, I think a lot of people hold the belief that sin came about, well, after the first sin, like everything went to pot after that. You know, Eve ate the fruit, then Adam ate it. They both knew they weren't supposed to, and then in front of the Lord, they didn't take responsibility. So he gave them the boot. And then, of course, everybody's like, well, then, the mosquitoes came and, ear and nose hair and cancer and everything else. And sin, all the sinly behaviors. Well, that story in and of itself proves that that's false. We were turds before the first sin. We are trouble, and you have to control yourself. And the first story proves that. Because if we didn't have, I don't know why that, hopefully I got the first minute, I think I did. Anyway, Eve knew she wasn't supposed to eat the fruit, and Adam knew he wasn't supposed to eat the fruit, but they did anyway, and that was before the act itself. So the motivation was there, the thought was there, the wanting was there, even though they, were in the garden and had, from what I can tell, everything they wanted or needed at least. Mm-hmm. So that, of course, to me opens a bunch of questions, or opens a box with a bunch of whatever, Pandora, whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Quickly, and I like to get these videos out. I probably should think them through more. Well, I should. But I'm a moron. But real quick, I think it has to do, again, with personal responsibility. And, again, don't blame anybody else for your actions. But that also opens a lot of, brings about a lot of questions, because I think a lot of people assume that, it was perfect before the sin. And, again, this story shows absolutely that it wasn't. Now, of course, too, this is one of those things where once you hear it, you're like, well, duh. That makes, you're like, well, duh. They obviously, they were mischievous. But I haven't heard a single person say it. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it is. But neither one of us kind of had that thought or said it before, the Spirit just gave it to me.
That's true.
So it's one of those things where once you hear it, you're just like, well, that's obvious. But it's like, well, then why did I think about it for 40 some odd years? And why don't I see it as a topic? That's another thing. Why don't I see it? I'm sure if I typed it in and specifically searched it, someone's already had this thought. I'm sure. But it's not like through my searches and through my recommended videos and all the other God-related videos, I've never seen this topic come up. And probably because it's one of those topics right away I can tell that would annoy a lot of people or, make them nervous to talk about, because that kind of wrecks a foundational, that first sin caused all this. That's a foundational kind of thing that you build off of, It really is. If you think about it.
That's true.
It is. So I find with those type of topics, people who generally are knowledgeable and know what they're talking about, when they get introduced to them, do not like talking about it. And no one does, because that means that you could be wrong. Your stance could be wrong. Your opinions could be wrong. And the problem with that is, now we're getting into more basic psychology, then you start to question what else you've gotten wrong in your thought and your assumptions. It's kind of like if you get, when you get cheated on, you picked a person, you thought they were good, you thought all these things, then it gets revealed that they did that, and it just wrecks you. It's one of the worst things, because it wrecks you, and it makes you question all your decisions, and so that's the type of topic it is. So I'm assuming that's why it's not brought up a lot, but it is something that I believe has to be explored in order to, again, understand ourselves more and how the Lord made us. Because He made us like this for a reason. And if sin isn't responsible for our mischievous side, then what was the reason? Okay. Anyway, good morning. You can stew on that and let me know, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.